It is our friend Stephanie's last day, and we decided to take a very fast local ferry from the Pointe de Boute marina across the bay to the main Port de France. We found Port de France a pretty disappointing place, but we had a wonderful breakfast, and as usual in all of France and French territories, the markets and fresh food were fantastic. It continued to pour down intermittently, but we got a bit of sightseeing in while dodging the rain.
At one point we took shelter in this local library from the rain. It was an amazing old structure, but the roof was leaking in the center. We had a small art exhibit on the ground, as well as the books. Every fort we've ever visited, and this is Fort St. Louis in France, has been closed to the public. I think this one was more of a military facility at this point, but many of them are under renovation for repairs.
The day after, we got on a bus and went to play golf at Les Trois Îlettes Golf Club. They were very welcoming here, and we had to pay less than €30 each, including a pull-along golf trolley. There were good facilities here for practicing, and also 3 tennis courts, but the clubhouse was closed and they had recently had a fire, destroying course maintenance machinery and their golf carts. The course looked beautiful and had some gorgeous looking holes, many overlooking the sea. But the condition of the course was not terribly good. We're on the 5th, and I think there is a storm approaching. Got very windy.
Raindrops keep falling on my head. Yeah. Hole number 5. Oh, you got lucky.
Good shot, Chip. I had a lucky ricochet off the bridge here, and my ball's ended up here. So I'm going to have to chip out sideways. The sun has come out again. It's no wonder it's such a lush green country. We are both playing off the reds on this hole because neither of us can be bothered to walk up the hill behind me to go to the yellow tees.
Good punch, Sue. Nice.
The drainage holes on the fairway are pretty big. You need to be watching where you're walking. Well, frankly, we're both exhausted and hungry, so we're not going to finish this course. So there's nobody on the 18th, so we're going to go down there. But some of the holes that we're missing are right by the sea and very pretty.
All right. After a few days in Fort-de-France, we decided to go south to Anse de Darley, the Grand Anse d'Arlay. Nice beaches, beautiful clear water, and a few restaurants ashore.
We went ashore and I had a lovely refreshing swim in the crystal clear water here. We then returned to the boat and watched a beautiful rainbow near the entrance to the bay. Next we headed north to Saint-Pierre. This will be our checkout point from Martinique and French territory for the moment, before heading to Dominica. We tied to a mooring pole and then went ashore to pay the fee and check out Martinique, ready for our departure tomorrow. We tied our dinghy to the end of this pontoon. It was fun to walk on as it rippled with the wave action. At first sight, the town didn't seem that interesting a place. It has a narrow black sandy beach and many derelict buildings. We did not know any of the history behind this town, but we followed a blue line which took us on a historic walk. We knew there was a volcano overlooking the town, but there are many volcanoes in this part of the Caribbean. Then we found out why there are so many derelict buildings here. This was the remnants of a theatre that was originally opened in 1786. Adjacent to it was the remnants of a prison. Throughout this walk there were information boards in both French and English. What a fascinating place. This town was no stranger to disaster. It was previously destroyed by a storm surge of 8 meters in the Great Hurricane of 1780, killing then 9,000 people. But in 1902, when volcano Mount Pelée erupted, the town was once again wiped out and 28,000 people were killed. The entire population of the town, as well as people from neighbouring villages who had taken refuge in the supposedly safe city, died except for 3 people: a young girl, a prisoner by the name of Louis Auguste Siparis, who later toured the world with the Barnum and Bailey Circus, and a man who lived on the edge of a city. At the end of the walk there was a small but really interesting museum and memorial to the people who died. We set off before 7 o'clock as we had a 52 nautical mile sail to Dominica. We had anticipated high winds and we initially got more than 40 knots. And then the winds disappeared altogether and we had 4 knots and changed to completely the opposite direction. It was bonkers. When we finally got out of the lee of this huge volcano, the swell picked up and the winds blew more consistently from the east. We were joined by two boobies catching the flying fish trying to get away from our boat. It was rich pickings for them. They rewarded us by peppering our sails with their smelly bird poop. This passage turned out to be a roller coaster ride. We were broadsided by several waves and got soaked. The boat's tipping over, there's that much wind and rain.
We weren't ready for that.
We weren't. 32, 33 knots of wind. Oh dear. What a day it's been. Gone from 4 knots to 40 and then back again, and wow. We finally got into the lee of Dominica, also known as the Nature Island. What a beautiful mountainous, green and lush island it is. There are 10 volcanoes on it though.
This is the land of rainbows.
Join us in our next episode where we explore this beautiful island.